The weaning phase is arguably the most critical time in the life of a calf. The health and performance gains at this crucial time will affect both the cattle's future performance and value. Cattleman to Cattleman's Brian Baxter visited Thomas Angus Ranch in Oregon to learn more about how to start calves right.
Whether you're raising kids or cattle, a strong start in life is essential. Dr. Stephen Myers is a nutritionist with Land O'Lakes Purina Feed, and he says that in the early stages of life, calves do face some critical challenges.
It's really amazing to think about the challenges these calves undergo. Whenever we think about just weaning and the fact that these calves have been out on grass and have had the luxury of nursing their mother, and now we are putting them under that stress of just the separation from mom and the calf. And we kind of use that example of, the stress of whenever our young child is going to kindergarten for the first day. That's just a stressful time in these children's life. So it's kind of like what these calves are doing. From a nutrition standpoint, if they haven't been on creep and they've been on grass, and now we're bringing them into a confined feeding situation and introducing them to grain, perhaps for the first time. That creates stress in that calf's life as well.
Rob Thomas runs a family seed stock operation, the Thomas Angus Ranch in Northeast Oregon. He says a focus on proper nutrition has helped him when it comes to giving newly weaned calves a strong start.
I think the greatest challenge, that we have when we wean calves is just getting them on feed. It's that transition from going from a cow into a feedlot or an off-the-cow situation. And so Impact Starter has really been a great way to get those calves, on feed without very much stress at all. And so we saw these calves come off and transition onto Impact Starter tremendously, and without a bobble. And so we just felt that went very well.
To get calves off to that good start, Dr. Myers says it's essential to recognize that at weaning time, calves do have unique nutritional needs.
Normally, a creep feed is designed to be a supplement to forage. And whenever we think about the formulation of a creep feed, yes, it is designed to supplement the deficiency in the forage. So we are providing a source of protein and yet also a source of energy. If we were to use that ration at the time of weaning, there's really some negative consequences of doing that. Whenever we think of creep feed and the consumption of that product, we're targeting 3/4 to 1% body weight intake. Now all of a sudden, if we bring that feed into the weaning receiving pen like we have here today, we are targeting to achieve a desirable gain in performance, and where we are wanting to keep these cattle healthy and get them off to a good start, they can overconsume on that product that was being used as a creep feed. Whenever we think about the sound formulation of a weaning receiving ration, what we are wanting to do is to get those cattle started on a product that is palatable. Something that when those cattle go to it, we are going to provide the rumen microorganisms with the sound nourishment that those bugs need to keep that calf healthy. We feel like that is when we can benefit in terms of getting good performance out of these cattle. It seems like to me today, whenever we think about a weaning receiving ration, there's a lot of cattlemen that may be happy if I can get these calves through that stressful time period without getting sick and maybe maintaining weight, they're happy. But today, we're living in a new world where there are products that are available to us where what happens if we can keep those calves healthy but yet achieve a 50 to a 75 pound gain in a 18 to 21 day period.
When we return, we'll have more on starting calves off right. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's return to Northeast Oregon and the Thomas Angus Ranch for more on how to start calves off on the right foot.
In addition to using a starter feed to provide balanced nutrition to keep newly weaned calves growing, Dr. Stephen Myers of Land O'Lakes Purina Feed says facility design and layout is an important factor in giving calves the best chance to thrive.
And what we'd like to ideally do when we bring these calves into more of a confined dry lot type situation is to make sure that those calves have access to a good quality free choice grass hay. I mean, these cattle are coming in and being trailed off range, and we just want to make sure that we get some good roughage into these cattle. On day 2 then, as we would provide free access to our Impact Starter Complete in a self-feeder. Whenever we think about a self-feeder, a great management tip, in my opinion, on a complete starting ration is that we would be seeking 8 to 12 inches of bunk space per head. And that is very, very important that these cattle have adequate bunk space so they can go up and snack at the feed as it is designed. On an 8-foot self-feeder such as the one that we have here at Thomas Angus, that means that we would be able to have on a feeder 20 to 25 head comfortably. Whenever we think about the pen arrangement and that kind of thing, we feel like it is very beneficial to have your self-feeder parked right up on the fence or perpendicular to the fence, as that first few days in which the calves may be going through stress and seeking mom, as they walk the pen, they find that feeder a lot easier, versus if the feeder was placed in the middle of the pen, it may be a day or so before they realize that that was where their feed was located. Another key ingredient to making a weaning program sound and successful is water. And these cattle here have been on a drinking fountain, so they know what a drinking fountain is. Perhaps if you're bringing in a set of calves that haven't been exposed to that, I think it's a good idea to put out a water tank where those cattle can find the water easier during particularly that first 4 or 5 days. Additionally, a sound management practice we feel is the use of a quality mineral. I really like the use of our Wind and Rain mineral tub with the Avela 4 ingredient. Those cattle that come in that are maybe timid will find that tub, it's molasses based, and it really helps to boost those mineral requirements quicker in these young calves.
Once calves are on feed, experienced producers like Rob Thomas know how to evaluate the success of the program.
We see quite a difference in hair coat and in just the overall look of the animal with the AccuRation. The Purina representative and ourselves toured through the calves several days after we weaned them, and we realized that these cattle really do have they're maintaining their flesh. You can see the vigor in the calves, and also you can see it in their hair coat and just overall condition. Cattle really maintain that, and they don't seem to backslide at all during the weaning phase.
As every cattle producer knows, dealing with cattle and the weather requires being able to adapt. For Rob Thomas, 2007 was a drought year, and a lack of forage had him looking to early wean some heifers with guidance from his local Purina representative.
We early weaned these heifers on Impact Starter, and it really, that was a reason, because of the availability of resources. It was our best option, and the performance in the calves has been tremendous. We're getting ready to breed these heifers here in a couple months. They're cycling. They're hitting the weights we want them to. They're very uniform, and they've done everything that we want them to do. And a lot of that is because of the product and because of the support that Purina has given us.
To learn more about starting calves off right and about proper nutrition, visit our website at cattlemantocattleman.org.